I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single day, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights.
If the video of Charlie Kirk bothers you because it's so graphic, that's because you haven't been watching men, women, and children beg for their lives while they're being bombed and searching for their children under the rubble of their homes, starving to death. If you'd been watching that for the last 2 years, Charlie Kirk's video would have been a walk in the park.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of jumping to conclusions or making assumptions based on no evidence. But I got a feeling Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Peace out.
Whoever pulled that trigger didn't do it for me, and they didn't do it for you. I don't even see them as being on two different sides. They didn't silence Charlie Kirk, they amplified Charlie Kirk. The power structure never cared about that boy. They used him. And he's more useful to them now than he was the day before. He's more useful to them dead than he was alive. This is not resistance. This is a gift. This is a gift to the very security state that he probably thought he was attacking. No, it's stupidity. Oh, they'll use his death. Oh, how they will use it. They're going to hold Charlie Kirk's body up as a shield against any examination of the society that created him. And the society that created his killer. The society that they made and that they rule, and you didn't do anything now but strengthen their hold on that society. The truth is, the Charlie Kirks of the world are not the enemy. The enemy is the society, it's the system, it's the power structure, it's the so-called civilization that creates boys like Charlie Kirk. The killer and the killed are the products of the same sick society. Charlie Kirk was not an outlier. He was a product. He was the logical output of a system that's designed to generate exactly what he was. His killing was not an attack on the system. It was a gift to the system. The individual who pulled that trigger, their motives are irrelevant. It doesn't matter if they saw themselves as a revolutionary or they saw themselves as a vigilante. Their actions serve a deeply counter-revolutionary purpose. You understand me? You didn't help anyone. All you did was exactly what they created Charlie Kirk to goad you into doing. And I know that you are from exactly the same manipulated, mutated, mutilated, and maladjusted population that created the demand that the power structure met by giving you Charlie Kirk, and that gave you his killer. Meaning you're just part of that mob in America. That same collective monster that's responsible for the American genocide of the indigenous people. That's responsible for genocides in Guatemala, genocides in Bangladesh, in Iraq, in Cambodia, in East Timor, in West Papua, and in Gaza. And you're the same collective monster that's responsible for every atrocity, every heinous crime that your country has ever committed. As far as I'm concerned, you poisoned Charlie Kirk's mind before he could even have a chance at a decent life, a moral life. And you poisoned the mind of the one who took the life that Charlie Kirk had. So spare me your counterfeit moralizing. No, you turned your country into a psychological and a spiritual torture chamber. And then your country turned the global South into a physical and an economic torture chamber. And now that system, that same system that you're serving, is turning inwards on you now.
Introduce this one called it Rocker, Real Guns Culture.
Good morning. How are we all? Am I wild for sound? Well, welcome to What the X. What the X indeed. There's a lot going on. Let me know. Let me know what you think. Morning, Rocky Vibrations. Nice to have you back with us. Raj, up and yon, morning to you. Chris Breaks, morning to you. You've had subs from us. Don't think we can't get to you. You've had billions from us. Don't think we can't get to you, Donald. Cryptic. Crypticisms. Morning, Beldam on the Excels. Sharpie, morning to you, John McFadden. Well, it's certainly been an interesting 48 hours, hasn't it? Another 48 hours in Babylon. What can we say? I mean, I don't know how old people are who watch What the X. But if you're of my generation, there was a sort of I think it was probably originated on Betamax, but then there was like a well-worn VHS that was handed around, and it wasn't full of scud. It was Faces of Death. Does anyone remember that? Now every day is like a new series, a new episode of Faces of Death, isn't it? Like, you know, it's just a carnage, a carnival of murder. And also we've got this phenomenal schism in the culture where we have these moral hypocrites, unashamed moral hypocrites, who live in compartmentalised bubbles of their own creation. There's another word for these people. It's called racists. That's the word I tend to reach for. But you know, hey, that's just me. Morning to you. Betawix, beta. Something that sounds a bit strange. Let me know if it's alright with you. My mic sounds a bit weird. Dave, sort of roots home. Babylon is accurate. Walls breaking down. That's why I brought us. I thought I'll start with Augustus and see where that takes us. Anyway, it's good to be back, I think. I almost don't know where to start. Any ideas? Any suggestions? I saw the being one of the afflicted terminally online. I did actually see that incident, I think pretty much moments after it occurred. And it was gruesome, wasn't it? But this is the modern age. This is the modern age that we're in. So let's try and make heads or make some sense of the goings on. CC 22nd. Morning all. I'm mad we call it. Respect to you, CC 2nd, for being a loyal discontenter and sharing of late. I'm always conscious who makes the effort to like and share and retweet. And CC 2nd is currently topping the leaderboard, which is good. Because in case you hadn't noticed, but I know I get that it's a cult in that, but we do still need to expand, break beyond these barriers, like, you know. RLF sent it to me with the warning. Well, you know, look, aren't we all desensitised now? Greetings to the discontented massive. Crazy times indeed. Far be it for me to comment. Was grim, indeed, but you know, it's a time of monumental grimness. Let's be honest about this, and we've got a few more takes on this that we'll dive into throughout the morning. Shout out to John. It was a great article. John White. John White has wrote another great article for the Discontent website. Well, we look at that just now, actually. Just for those of you who don't know, we have launched a platform that we will be developing with intent in an attempt to revolutionise the Scottish media landscape. The rather tired, pedestrian Scottish media landscape, of which we know every single member of the Scottish media. We know who they are, and they know who I am. You tell him I'm coming for him. Right, John White is getting a lot of love, rightfully so, this morning. Let's pop in to the exosphere for the existentials. Right away, we've got Freddie. Steve voted for Labour, despite bombing Iraq and murdering millions. Bailing out the banks, selling out assets through PFI. Why are we all not the people that are elected to actually... it seems to me that we tend to point out all the flaws in everything. I like this, sorry, just to... Charlie Kirk lost the gun debate by a long shot. It's a tight... Look, Max Maxter says to me one time, it's never too soon. In reference to when it is too soon to take the cunt out of something. And he looked at me with sincerity as he can at times, and he said, it's never too soon. Student tuition fees and being backstabbing cunts, completely owned by the Zionist lobby. Would have called people like me a crank while he did too. Steve, who's he talking to anyway? Labour just voted against letting disabled people use their free bus passes before 9:30. Look, I think if you voted for this last Labour government, you should be battered. You should be put in stocks. You should be put in stocks and pelted with golf balls or something like, you know? Everybody knew what a sheriff. Everybody knew, right? And still, the middle class. Oh, fucking well done. Congratulations, yeah? I'd like to vote for a dildo up my fucking ring. Morning, here, sir. Miguel, mi juego viene. Cheers, dude. I see you around, so I'll say hello next time. We have some mutual lethal mates. He died doing what he loved, preaching race hate on college campuses. You can't say fairer than that. You know something, I have to say, I was largely ignorant to Charlie Kirk. I knew who he was, obviously knew who he was, but I didn't pay a great deal of attention to him. Because I saw him, I think, correctly for what he was, which is just a sort of, I referred to him as a right-wing cultural hemorrhoid, and that's what he is, or was. He was just a antagonist. He was a kind of, a sort of a manifestation of the YouTube generation. An aspirant self-publicist. Absolutely nothing in common with such a gentleman. But a ruthless kind of like opportunist who was prepared to, very much in the vein of that Konstantin Kristin and all these guys, you know, who have no concern about the consequences of what they may or may not say, especially when they grow their platforms and they get large kind of followings or whatnot. And he clearly thrived on controversy, and it's cost him. It's cost him dearly. It doesn't excuse nobody wants murdered. I mean, come on, this should be obvious, right? We shouldn't have to preface our critique of this whole matter by sort of let me just sort of move something here. Am I doing the right thing? We shouldn't have to preface our critique of something by, you know, explaining the obvious that, you know, hey kids, murder's bad. But there are grand hypocrisies at play, which I will do my best in our limited time this morning to address as best I can. Very pleased to hear some dub gadge. It's a kind of necessity, isn't it? Really, you know, it's the healing of the nation. We know it is. Dave Swift says, never knew who Charlie Kirk was until yesterday. Now blanket coverage. This is the first thing that I'd like to address this morning about this, because I do feel that the incident has beautifully exposed the plasticity and superficiality of our entire cultural and political experience. If I don't mind saying so myself, I do feel you'll be safe. Hold on, let me just. I'm phobic about blood. I got it sent to me. It was horrible. Good article from John about Charlie Kirk. Sup, Joe. I can't go through all this commenting all the time, but that's good. It's good that we've got a lot of people joining in the comments here. There is also, just while I'm at it, our donate. I think it's at the top of the comments. It's the Ko-fi at Discontent. We're trying to raise a bit of loot to make Discontent really special, and we appreciate everyone that does contribute. I would encourage everybody to do so, and if you already have done so, please don't feel obliged to continue to do so. I'd like new people to contribute, because we know we've got a lot of viewers. We've got that. We can see the analytics, eh? We can. So if you've been peeking from behind the Venetians forever, get your hand in your pocket, or I'll not be able to be here, eh? I'll be fucking doing your Amazon deliveries. Right, so let's dive in. Oh, that's right. Okay, so this Labour have stopped disabled people using their bus passes before 9:30. That's nice. And Freddie was having a pop at Steve. We'll come back to that. So, aye, get on it. Okay. I wondered on the night, was it Wednesday night, I thought to myself, will Keir Starmer comment on the passing of this, or the murder of Charlie Kirk? I thought, I don't think he will. I think there's still enough common sense within our bankrupted, compromised, pathetic, inept, incomprehensibly incompetent ruling establishment that they won't comment on something as ridiculous as this, that they won't make a public statement on it. If Charlie Kirk had passed away, if this had happened to Charlie Kirk, if there was a Charlie Kirk 10 years ago, certainly 15 years ago, right, it would have featured, it may have led the news. It's highly unlikely that it would have been the top story on a British news broadcast. It would probably have been maybe like the third story, and it would have gone along the lines of, in other news, the controversial right-wing US political commentator, of which absolutely nobody has heard of, has been assassinated or has been shot. His condition is unknown. And at a rally, at a college campus rally in And that would have been it, right? the idea that somebody like Charlie Kirk, you know, which there's a couple of analogous sort of comparatives I think are worth considering about who Charlie Kirk is or was. You know, he's kind of like a sort of right-wing IShowSpeed, you know, essentially a celebrity YouTuber, you know, one of these sort of self-made entrepreneurial kind of shock jock type guys, right? And he was a you know, some kind of muckraker for the Republican Party, I think, you know. But the idea that this person should be entering into the official statements of an elected Prime Minister of this country is farcical, right? And this is why it's important, I think, to kind of hone in on this and recognise why it's important to sort of recognise why it just exposes how superficial the whole thing is, you know. And more importantly, why X is the focal point of this entire matter. There is no question whatsoever now that X is the media, and that the legacy media are essentially just chasing whatever happens on X. And this is a really important shift. People, I think, sometimes when they see me make these statements about X and talk about X in this manner, I think there's a condescending kind of. There's certain factors, you know. It's not like I have you know, I'm perfectly aware of there are a certain degree of hostilities towards me and what I think. Not that I give two fucks, but I think there's this impression that somehow you know, I'm a fan of Musk or X or something like that. It's like it's not really true. I don't think that's correct at all. I think that we have to be really objective and realistic about where our media and where our information is essentially being mediated via. And the Charlie Kirk incident, I think, just crystallises once and for all that we are no longer bound by our traditional media models. So I personally find it very interesting, okay? Maybe that's just me, maybe I find weird things interesting, but I genuinely think it's interesting. And I think I think there should be more honest awareness of what's actually occurred here with our media. However, I was thinking, right, will Keir Starmer comment on this crazy murder? And then he did, right, which I commented on. But then I noticed as well, true to type, there's Swinney. Swinney's commented on it. In fact, I think Swinney commented on it before Starmer did. Somebody seems to have replied. So Swinney says, the murder of Charlie. I can't really do it. I'll practice a Swinney voice, right, so that when I do Swinney in the future, I'll get Swinney's bromidic tones down to a T, like, you know. But he says it's another dreadful example of violence in our politics. Never mind the 2 years of live-streamed genocide, like, you know. We live and thrive by the democratic strength of respecting the views of others. There can never be a place for violence. My sympathy to his wife and family. What a superficial prick. What a muppet, you know. Paul Martin says, our politics. What's wrong with you, John? Nothing to do with our politics. Not remotely. Well, John's correct. Paul Martin here is correct about that. Paul Martin is correct about that. Somebody says, it's a bit like having the flags flying half-mast for the death of Yaxley Lennon. Has he passed away as well? I thought we wanted to get excited about folk pegging it. Ironically, I see Charlie Kirk as basically a very similar figure to Tommy Robinson. He's kind of like the prep school version of Tommy Robinson, you know? More holidays in the Hamptons and lines of ching in a toilet cubicle, like, you know? But basically very similar individuals, just keen to whip up divisions and provoke and antagonise whilst raising their own personal profile, and undoubtedly making a significant amount of money out of it as well, you know. Nigel Smith says, hola from Spain. Just wanted to say hello. We'll catch up later. Hola, hola amigo. Greyfellow's Bobby. Swinny's tweet is also an embarrassment, as if Starmer's wasn't bad enough. Well, there's more, isn't there? Because then we've got Humza Yousaf. I couldn't have disagreed more with Charlie Kirk, but if I don't comment on what's happened here, then I risk not being heard today, because no one listens to what I say. I think that's what he's saying, is it? I tell you what, right? I'm gonna skip to a wee. We'll skip to a bit more of internet perspectives, and I'll be back henceforth. So bear with us. We'll just go for a short commercial break.
I don't know how you're going to do it, but I'm going to need so many of you to get a grip. Get a grip. Every day coming with empathy. Oh my God. We shouldn't lean into violence. Get a grip. Violence is being inflicted on you every single day in so many different ways by the political class. Now, somebody happens to rat-a-tat-tat one of the political class in the neck, and then suddenly it's like, guys, let's not politicize violence. Can you not see what's happening? Are you not paying attention to what's happening when hundreds of people, I say hundreds, millions of people are being killed globally for political reasons? Everybody's quiet. Oh, I don't post politics on my page. Don't worry, let's not bring politics into this. Are you crazy? Are you all actually crazy? Politics is in everything. Violence in and of itself is political, because there are places and people that violence is allowed to be inflicted upon and others that it's just not. That's why we're having this conversation, because the archetype that violence is not allowed to be willfully inflicted upon, it has been. And then the people who fall into that category are now scared. And then they're asking you lot, you sheep, to come and do the bidding. And then you're doing just that because of the ways that your minds have been so deeply colonized. You're rising to come and defend the master and say, guys, this is not okay. Just because they're doing that, it doesn't mean we need to celebrate. And look at the extreme kind of direction that you went with it. Some people aren't celebrating. They're just indifferent. You know why? Because they've been seeing children carried in bags. Limbs of children carried in bags for however long, the past couple of years. So they are actually indifferent to what they've now seen. Because the same person that was saying, well, at the end of the day, sometimes we're going to lose some people. Sometimes people are going to die for us to have this Second Amendment, or for us to have these gun laws. Some people are going to die. And you know what? What he believed in, he died for. It's really that simple. And I know that the media is going to go a particular way with it, because they want to overwhelm us with this humanizing of this character in order to distract us from the very real issue that violence is what everything is, the foundational kind of. It's the foundation of the West. It's the foundation of the Western world. America was established through violence. Everything that the Western world has, it acquired through violence. And it's telling those that it acquired it from and continues to keep it from, that violence is never the answer for them. At what point are we going to realize that the system is killing us every single day? We just saw one guy get brat one time, and then there was the CEO before. They're starting to get scared, so the rhetoric is going to change. People don't want to talk about the gun control laws. Every other billboard you see, somebody's holding a gun. In fact, you'll see that more of the billboards now are having women holding guns too, because they're bringing them into the narrative of the whole thing. In order for the American dream to be what it has been for so long, other people had to live a nightmare. And unfortunately, a lot more people are starting to wake up, and there are going to be repercussions to that. And I need you to stop with the faux biblical bullshit that some of you are posting and get a fucking grip.
Okay, here we go. It's time for another video. What am I going to talk about today? Well, what else is there to talk about? Because there's only one thing in the news right now today, isn't there? It's old Charlie Church. Scottish word for Kirk. Or Kirk's a Scottish word for church. I'm not quite sure. One of the two. Anyway, Charlie Kirk. Everyone's up to high do about this, and quite rightly so. It's not very nice seeing a guy apparently get murdered in cold blood. But it is a bit of a strange one, isn't it? Just kicking in September the 10th, September the 11th, ritualistic shit going on, you know what I mean? The old dark Illuminati. Because first of all, you see it and everybody gets their initial reaction. Oh my God, what a tragic event. There's a sniper. He's shot him. He's dead. End of story. But there seems to be a lot more going on to this one, doesn't there? There seems to be some other things that have got everybody fighting about this. People say, oh, you conspiracy theorists out there. Oh, you bloody conspiracy theorists. What yous like? There's a man dead, for fuck's sake. Think of his wife and family and children and stop repeating this. And if you don't think he's dead, go on Twitter and just watch the video and then tell me it's fake. Well, that's what everybody's doing. They're going to Twitter and watching the videos and then they're saying it's fake, aren't they? Because there was some weird thing here and then the shirt kind of went like this and then he had freedom on his shirt which turned to freedom at one point, and the two E's could be interpreted, if you turn them upside down or whatever, as 33. Then you've got the old finger, the ring was on this finger, magically goes onto that finger and his finger bent back. And then what else do you have? Like 11 years ago he posted he'd been hit by an AK-47 on Twitter, you know, and then he was asked just last month, you know, if you die, if you're no longer here anymore, the guy kind of changed the way he interpreted it. He asked this question, which was a bit strange in itself, and then he said, oh, I'd like to be remembered for my faith, you know, my faith in Jesus. And then all of a sudden he dies a month later. And yeah, he's the guy that's going on about gun control. Oh, you know, we're safer with our guns, and then he gets shot by a gun and everybody, some people are saying, oh, maybe it's going to be a kinder world, maybe that's why people are cheering and not celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. What they're celebrating is, in fact, you know, maybe the gun laws will get changed and then we'll have less guns. Well, maybe the gun laws will get changed, and, you know, here's the thing I ask. Will the police be without guns? Will the terrorists, who most of the time are the police and the government anyway, will they be without guns? Will all the armies be without guns and more big bombs, missiles? Who the hell makes those missiles? Is a song by The Sound. You want to check that one out, because nobody talks about these companies. Guys get up every day. What are you doing going to work today for, darling? Oh, I'm just going to make bombs that fucking maim anyone who they hit, you know what I mean? Or kill them stone dead, and bullets and the whole arms industry. Who the hell's making these things? Why not just get a big, you know, the Grand Canyon? People didn't want folk going in there because apparently there's folk living there and it's an ancient civilization. It's hidden from the masses as well. But anyway, that aside, chucking all their weapons, and everyone goes, oh no, Iran's got nuclear weapons. I don't believe in nuclear weapons. That's another one, the Cold War. It's a way to control people with this idea of nuclear weapons. It's all about the perception, isn't it? And then even the black guy who killed the white girl on the train by stabbing her, that one's a bit strange as well. And then people are saying, oh, you've got to feel sorry for him, he's mentally ill, so fucking got to feel sorry for Trump and Keir Starmer as well, because they're obviously fucking mentally ill, wanting to be the leader of any country. Because you watch Larkin Rowe's video, If I Were King, it's all bullshit anyway. It's theatre, isn't it? And then Trump was on TV because he's talking about the black guy and the fucking white girl, and that's terrible. But you know, this is what we have to combat these days. So we have to make Chicago safe now that we've made Washington DC safe by introducing military fucking, what do you call it, martial law type scenario. That's what we need. We need that everywhere. And we need you on a digital ID will be the next thing, obviously, you know, not just in America and Britain, which is obviously what they're stirring up everybody in this racial shenanigans to kick off when Tommy Robinson's fucking Israeli PSYOP plan comes together for September the 13th, and they'll have all their operatives in place where fucking they'll start the shenanigans and people will react, because every cunt in the world's getting played. It's like a big show, isn't it? And it's like almost like it's impossible for people to wake up and stop what they're doing and say, hold on a minute, we're getting drafted into this. So here I am today, I'm in nature today. And humanity is so disconnected from the natural world, aren't we? We're all caught in the world of Twitter. Oh, Elon Musk is for free speech, but you go in there and all you see is racial hatred. It's almost like he's the guy to promote the fucking divide and conquer while claiming he's against the whole thing at the same time. Because again, he's another actor on the scene, and there's probably 3 or 4 Elon Musk going around, and there's 4 or 5 Donald Trumps going around, because they're all down the tunnels, underground in the cloning centres. And if the Illuminati have a bad day, which they didn't want to happen, then they'll use their groundhog dog, is that right? Groundhog dog, I think it is. Anyway, that technology Bill Murray showed us, you know, in the day that keeps getting repeated until he gets it right. Well, they'll just move time back a week and we'll not even ken it happen, because there's all kinds of shenanigans going on. They've got high-tech technology, we're all getting shafted up the arse. Everyone should just down tools, move to the countryside and grow tomatoes and feed each other, be happy and merry, but that's not going to happen. We're going to keep using the legal fictional name, we're going to keep being in their system, keep paying their taxes, council tax, tax for fucking this, tax for that, and then they'll just change all your life savings, they'll get whapped away from you, they'll take your property off you, and they'll shit in your mouth forevermore. That is the plan, and Charlie Kirk's show is just another step in their wee fucking toolbox to get us all, you know, getting used to that dildo rammed up our jacksie on a daily basis. So hope you have a nice day in that, yin. Thanks very much for watching this gen, and we'll see you in the next gen. Cheers to now.
Did you miss me? Corbyn Best Life Form says this cunt no got hobbits to escort. I like that guy. I think he's called Billy Watson. I see him on TikTok and that. He's got some good takes. I was quite a long one there to pop in, but I thought, fuck it, why not? You know what I mean? I can do what I want. And I thought that. But I mean, I have another couple of associates that were sending me some heavyweight conspiracy stuff, which was basically like, I'll try and what was he saying to me? Like, where's this? Can you analyse the, like they're all wanting to analyse the is the footage we are being shown real or is it CGI? For fuck's sake, like, has the ring switched finger? I mean, it's quite mental, isn't it? That this angle shows the reaction to the bullet. They're getting right into it. Really heavyweight. If he was shot from the front, would we not see blood splatter coming out of the back of his neck and land on everyone behind him? The whole thing doesn't add up. It's like, fuck it, hell, man, you know? I don't really know. I don't know what to say to that side of things, like, you know? I'm pretty sure Charlie Kirk is brown breed, but, you know, as to why people say he was beginning to criticise Israel, people say that Netanyahu was the first to comment and send condolences. Pretty heavyweight gangster move by Netanyahu if that is the case, you know. But this is the world that we appear now to be living in, so I don't know. Bernie Sanders, Darren says that's how you do it. Okay, let's have a look and see what the murder of Charlie Kirk is part of a disturbing rise in political violence that threatens to hollow out our public life. A free society relies on the premise that people can speak out without fear or humiliation. No more political violence. I just think most of it all now is empty rhetoric. But what do you think? ¿Qué? Dime. ¿Qué pasa? Joyo. What, I mean, should we listen to how long is Sanders talking for? 4 minutes 15. But I mean, you know, Sanders has defended Israel, has he not? As far as I'm aware. I just think that we're kind of our post-politics position is now just so disturbing. This guy is a parasite, Graham Linehan. Graham Linehan is what I would refer to as sentient excrement, you know? These bizarre characters who are, you know, unrepentant and repugnant in their public behaviour. They're either sort of like schizophrenic, or I don't know. There's something particularly peculiar about the disassociation between their own behaviour and their indignant attacks on others for the way that they operate. You know, they're the definition of hypocrites. I think there's a lot of suspicious, suspect behaviour from, and again, it's quite weird. You know, even the Scottish commentariat, who have, you know, become very invested in this issue or this event. I think the ties between Turning Point, which is the organisation. In fact, I think I saw as the comments were spinning up there. Here we go. Katrina Grant, our roving reporter here, our investigative social worker. Charlie Kirk, personal wealth at death, $12 million. As CEO of Turning Point USA, Kirk's salary increased from 27 grand in 2016 to more than 407,000 in 2021. I guess being a cunt pays. His personal holdings included 3 high-end homes, according to Times Now. A $4.75 million estate near Phoenix with sweeping desert views, a nearby apartment, and a beachside condominium in Florida. Debate me, bro. Nay cunt is leaving here until we find out who blessed that lassie. That was Netanyahu, yeah. Aye, these right-wing grifters are proof of the old adage, where there's muck, there's brass. Yes. Zambo, hello to you. So, I think that we even had the likes of... Is that Craig Murray is shouting at the Israeli Prime Minister? What is it he shouts? Hold on. They've slowed it down for effect. What does he shout? What does Craig Murray shout at him?
This is such bullshit. I've never been so pissed in my whole life. And this murder Charlie Kirk right here in Utah.
Yeah.
I'm so freaking pissed right now.
There's definitely a reason why his missus has left him. I can't tell you exactly why, but I could give you a few, you know, guesstimations.
Charlie Kirk, man. He's Martin Luther King to white men who started going bald in their 20s. Bad thing that happened. It's not good, right? And it's crazy. It's fucking insane that happened on a college campus. And look, I disagree with everything he stood for, but I think he has his right to say it. And that's a fair society. He has his right to say it. And I understand that because I'm a comedian, and it's important that I have the right to say the things I'm about to say. I feel safe doing this because I live in the UK. Yeah. Oh, what's the worst you're going to do here? Leave a bad TripAdvisor review to the comedy club? Do you remember a few years ago, the worst thing of our left-wing violence was someone threw a milkshake over Nigel Farage. And it was news for weeks. The government had to get involved and just go, all right, McDonald's, turn the ice cream machine off. Nobody in this country went, hey, the only thing to stop a bad guy with a milkshake is a good guy with a milkshake. It's not...
Busted. Now I get caught.
I am a man. I'm a trans man, but I'm not a binary trans man.
Why? Oh, look, here's the content farmer. Here's the king of content farming. Like, what the fuck? This guy here, like, what somebody was saying to me, obviously this is his obsession. He is, I guarantee you, right, if you were to check his hard drive, it would just be a fucking ream of tranny porn, right? That is all he pulls his wire to, is fucking transsexuals, like. That's his thing. Total in plain sight. A man was shot for debating ideas. His young daughter scared. These people, right? All of these, like quasi, you know, the crypto fascists, right? As fucking Gore Vidal would have called them, like, you know, just fucking manky, shite talking cunts, and they've all just took the piss out of Gaza, right? They've ostensibly just mocked the genocide, right? And now some fucking reactionary teapot in fucking, you know, as I would call it, Timbuktu, but fucking Utah or whatever it is, you know? It's like, now this is the biggest deal ever, you know? What is this guy saying anyway? Trans. They're desperate for it to be a trans person that's killed them, aren't they? This is their thing. Joe Caulfield, and then this. Imagine this guy, right? Like this is the quintessence of hypocrisy, right? This morally repugnant sort of like sentient hemorrhoid, you know, this crustacean preaching some kind of moral authority on anything, you know. It's just embarrassing, you know. They've got absolutely, I don't even know if it is about self-awareness, you know, but the idea that this guy gets to decree what is or is not disgusting, that's embarrassing, right? This guy is like a turd that can speak, you know, and this is what he wants to decide what's objectively disgusting or not. Shut the fuck up. Hit the like button, yes. Like and share, subscribe to the Discontent YouTube channel. So, I mean, the trans moral panic thing is like, that's a headache. A hero's death. Is this Wings guy? I like how this is the for you. I like how Musk is curating this feed just for me. For Charlie, what? This guy's another antagonist who does well out of his YouTube. This guy's the guy that goes into Piccadilly Circus in Manchester and noises everybody up.
We remember Charlie.
I'm not watching 15 minutes, 7 minutes of him.
Today, September the 11th, and yesterday, September the 10th, Charlie Kirk was assassinated in Utah at one of his well-known rallies.
What's up with these guys is they hero worshipped that guy, didn't they? That's what they wanted to be. They wanted to be the guy at the college campus, kind of noising up the students. That's their kind of dream gig. That's why they're all upset. Back onto the trans thing and that. Let me look at the. I'm trying to look for something. Here we go. Where is it? Here. Okay, so this, if you haven't already seen is the new Discontent website, which is discontent.wtf. So get on that. We've got some great articles up there already, some great original writing. This was a good piece that John White did yesterday on Charlie Kirk. And this is the site here. We will be adding to it as we move forward. We've got listings for events and whatnot. So discontent.wtf. Give it a deek. Right. Suzanne Moore as well. We have this merging between what we perceive the left as a force against capital, and the left as defined by essentially the right and agents of the right. And these kind of metropolitan lefties, of which Suzanne Moore was really part of that whole thing, you know, the whole Gardanistas. And I think it's very clear, right? It's basically this, right? The basic friction point is trans, right? So such is their incandescent contempt for the trans phenomena, if you like, that they will now, so they now refer to it as a chilling warning to Britain's intolerant left. It's an interesting framing. Where therefore is there to be any political movement built if it's not from the left, right? I'm offering that question out there. If the left is to be completely and utterly categorised and defined as just one particular element of the left, which is essentially a liberal, which is a liberal expression of the left. Where was the where was this post? Oh yeah, that was it. It was where is the that thing with Zara or whatever her name is? Here, for fuck's sake. Right, this. Okay, so this is the great left hope, right? Zara Sultana's new left Corbyn-based Your Party, which is a dead duck before it's even on the water. Because look at this, right? This is the state of affairs, right? So this was
pro-trans, pro-mod. There is
the
no room for socially conservative views in a socialist left-wing party. Period.
Adnan Hussein, who's recently angered a lot of the prospective members of the new party by saying that trans women are not biologically women and safe third spaces should be an option for trans people. How do you manage that as you set this new party up and place core values in situ that are going to guide the way that policy is being drawn up?
We have to defend the rights, dignity and life of everyone, and that means centering the most marginalized. And if people don't have pro-trans, pro-migrant, anti-racist values, there are plenty of other political spaces that you can enter, but not this one, because we have to have our values, we need to let people know what we stand for, and then we need to be going out to the country and saying this is the vision of society that we want, that we believe we can achieve, and we want you all to be part of it.
Listen, if you're transphobic, you're not short of options. With absolute
Literally.
respect. In British politics, for Christ's sake, join the Conservative Party and watch a Ricky Gervais Netflix special. You're fine.
Total and utter Glastonbury socialists. Like, that is just absolute fucking metropolitan shit, right? That has no potential whatsoever to build any type of meaningful force against the forces of darkness that we're currently facing, right? And anybody who wants to contest it otherwise is just a completely delusional idiot, and probably, quite frankly, at their core, class prejudiced, right? When she goes like, we need to centralise the most marginalised, who do you think the most fucking marginalised section of society actually is? Right? Is it bourgeois liberals who are enlightening themselves at university and becoming all fucking informed about the oppression Olympics? Or is it folk that can't even fucking feed their kids and have got fucking shitty fucking existences in places that have been denied and undersubscribed for a fucking long time? Because the right are winning in spades at the minute, and if this is all that we've got to mount as a defence to it, we're fucked. And the smug, dismissive attitude of that Nish Kumar guy, this is just a farce. This is a complete farce. And I'm sorry, I had a bit of a thing on Instagram. I posted Paul. I think I see that they are coming in. Where is it? Matty Ross. That thread you shared about this, I can't recall. That was Paul O'Connell, who made the thread about this, and I reposted his thread on Instagram because I thought it was a really good thread. In fact, I'll find it here. And he was making the point, that these social movements. Here it was here. Amidst the vitriol and furore of the online spats related to your party, I'm reminded of this observation from Martin Gleiberman's introduction to a collection of C.L.R. James essays on building socialist organisations. I'm not going to read the piece or the thread that's there. I'll retweet it again. There needs to be a kind of like an objective kind of assessment of reality amongst middle-class liberal leftists, because you're not going to get anywhere in this current situation. History is repeating itself. I've always been somebody that never really enjoyed this kind of statement, everything repeats itself over and over, and I never really got my head around that term. And, when people make that kind of statement, which is obviously regularly made, I never really understand it. It's a kind of a very sort of assumptive, authoritative thing to say about something, about temporality. I always find that a bit weird. But really, when it comes to politics and class relations and our relationship to capital and the process of, the state trying to, maintain power, when it comes to things like fascism, these patterns are objectively able to be looked at. And we're in this situation. It's the same thing with Novara Media. I had I commented on something to do with them where Novara have reinvented themselves as kind of the objective diagnosticians of a situation of events that they fucking tilled the land for. When if you're corralling around people like Io Caesar and Bustani and all the rest of it, you're corralling around people who essentially are part of the process of ostracising working class people from culture and society and the online space. because I think we can't disassociate how important this confused state of our culture is between the virtual and the real. There is a blurred line between these areas. I think that there isn't enough honest kind of discussion about what is going on there and how much that online narrative pours into our actual general political discourse, fuels it, motivates certain factors. It's very performative as well. If you look at Tommy Robinson, you ever look at Tommy Robinson and he'll make a video and he's doing that thing which is very, very much the sort of the pathology of the narcissistic self-promoting selfie generation. You know, he likes his own image. You can see when he looks at his videos. Katrina calls it absolutely correct. Most marginalised are poor working class people. That is the facts. This is science, right? And then the other fact about this is that it's that sense of like putting the working class into the apothecary of identity politics. Working class is not an identity. Okay, it doesn't get to fit into that neatly into this thing of being like this is a defined identity. You don't identify as being working class, right? You either are working class or you're fucking not working class, right? And this your party thing, this Corbyn Sultana thing, is a fucking busted flush before it's even started. It's embarrassing. And I tell you what, you know, how's that going to wash? A bunch of London metropolitan elites. So are they to go to reform? Are they not welcoming your party if they don't agree with certain stuff? Well, according to this clip that we've just watched, that's exactly what the case is. Anyway, look, we wouldn't be what the X if we weren't having some. Danny boy, if you want some right sort of casual misogynist chauvinistic relief, which let's face it, it's a guilty pleasure of many of us, quite an amusing chap, heart of the sleeve type mentalist, but you know, it's the wish you were here for the social media generation. Then you've got Sturgeon. I mean, it is really just a kind of, I don't know. I'm back to following now. Wallpaper Keith. Corbyn et al. Still unable to organise piss-up-in breweries. What a surprise. Jim DeGriz, thing is though, you can win elections based on that 20% middle-class Liberal vote. Maybe that's true. But can you win elections with that 20% middle-class vote when you have such a resurgent or such an emboldened right? Now, people would argue maybe sections of that right won't vote. And maybe that's what the Liberal left are bargaining on. Maybe they're like, you know, a lot of people won't be registered to vote. They'll get behind a movement, but they won't actually go into a polling booth, or they won't actually make a vote by postal vote or otherwise. It's a good point to make, Jim DeGriz. Didn't you leave a fucking smart-arsed comment on one of my videos, actually? Was that not you that done that? Anyway, the point about that is, I guess that's an interesting question, because part of the bankruptcy of our neoliberal polity is that the political class and the neoliberal party political class rely on a low voter turnout. They kind of want that. They want an apathetic electorate, and I think that's why they're concerned by Farage and whatnot, because the margins of winning are slim or small. So a swing can occur. You know, it doesn't take a lot to swing in some constituencies. So I would imagine that that's part of the issue. But whether you want to have, you know, that middle class liberal vote, you know, you know, what does that do? How does that actually solve anything? You know, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced of that. I'll throw that out there for anybody that wants to interject with any thoughts on that. Working class is an economic and social material reality in your relationship to the means of production. Yes, it is. And there is a sort of new wave of US-based kind of imported ideas that because you work, that you're working class because you go and sell your labour, you know, and you'll see middle class people saying this, like, you know, yeah, I mean, I sell my labour, so I mean, I'm working class. I mean, I'm a barista. I sell my. If you sell your labour, you know, you're working class. Yeah, do you sell your labour? Do you sell your labour? You're working class. It's like, right, okay, aye. Is that right, aye? You also stand to inherit your fucking house. You know what I mean? So there are other factors. Incidentally, it was Darren McGarvey made a brilliant video years ago where he was making all those really good points about the misconceptions about people who think they're working class and actual working class people. I remember it. It was probably about 7 or 8 years ago. It was a great video. 11:10. I'm sure there was other things that I wanted to look at this morning. There's always things to look at. Okay. Many of the working class will vote for the right. They're gaining support by the day, it seems. Nothing in Westminster politics is meant to solve anything. It's meant to maintain the status quo. I think there's a lot of truth in that. There's a lot of truth in that. Colette Howe is an artist I really like. I noticed that she's in East Ayrshire. For ages I thought she was in East Lothian for some reason, but she made these incredible works recently. Where are they? Are they on her page here? Yeah, I thought these were great.
I'd a terrible broken heart.
Really good.
Online, but what the fuck is going on? No, I don't give a fuck about Charlie Kirk dying. No, I don't give a fuck about his Nazi wife not having a Nazi husband anymore. Why is this a controversial thing right now? I feel like I'm losing my fucking mind. Hey guys, did we not know this is real fucking life? This is what he brought to the fucking world. This is all he preached about. We knew these people were here. What do you want me to say? He was good at what he did? Is that the amount of respect you want me to give this man? Cool. He was good at what he did for a living. Being evil. He was good at being an evil person with evil beliefs that he instilled in the youth of America every day. And not just America, the world over. This movement that he was...
This is it. This is what we got.
Just like a wild wind.
And think about is not just saying it.
In fact, I even think that we should bring back, public executions on certain people. No, but think about it. I think that, and you guys should laugh, it should be public should be quick. It should be televised. By the way, you could form the government to watch it. You could have like brought to you by Coca-Cola. And no, I'm not kidding.
Fuck me, eh?
Hi guys, it's Kerry here from Help Bristol saying this.
Wait, we all need a laugh, eh?
Oh, hi.
Hey.
Are you my...
That's. Is this the intolerant left? Sign me up.
Oh, it's just the most unbelievable relief seeing it pink. If it was grey and dry, I think I'd cry.
Oh, Peter, sorry.
What you know about me? Check my team. Yeah, that's fact. Straight came in the game.
This is a warning. Be very cautious around funny.
Today, it's September 11th. 24 years ago, the world changed forever. That day, planes were hijacked.
Okay.
I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun.
Right, okay, so CC Second says the 1.7 million for the Tour de France, which I have to say, before we go, let's just address this. Let's just address these last few things while we're here. Edinburgh City Council, is this correct? Are Edinburgh City Council going to find 1.7 million for the Tour de France? Is that what's going to happen? Because the other thing that I think is worth checking out is where are they living rent? Did they not living? Are they here? Living rent. Living rent. We're saying that this is old. Have they stopped using X in a sort of protest? In a sort
Haven't
of
slept a
we're
wink.
going to seal ourselves off from things. Where was it? It was the council voted. I know who will have done this. I know who'll have said something about bookish cat's eye. They'll have said something, eh? Save Leith from purpose-built student accommodation. The council voted yesterday to basically continue to not stop any to basically, like, they weren't going to put any halts on PBSAs in case the developers sued them. But I can't find the article now. If somebody can find the article, we'll comment on it before we what's going on? Look, I'm trying my best here, eh? Yes, the Scott Gov will underwrite anything over and can't find the Citadel another community project. Can't fund the Citadel. So they'll find money for pedophiles, is that what we're saying? Money for pedophiles, fuck all for everyone else. That's the state of play. I don't know where the article is about the purpose-built student flats. It says Charlie Kirk is Jesus. Come on, man. My gosh. Right, okay. Hold on. Freddie mentioned me. Tour de France. Edinburgh City Council has agreed to set aside £1.7 million of funding, which will be covered from the city's visitor levy. Exactly what the city has agreed to have not been made public. What's going on? Should the levy be used in this way? 9! I say 9. It should not. But who am I? Who am I to say? Right, okay. Well, thanks very much for joining me this morning on another, no doubt, scintillating thoughts on the SNP rebels, Bob. You'll need to explain. Who are the SNP rebels? I tell you what, I wanted to have some thoughts on was maybe on Neil Hanvey, who seems to have become a Charlie Kirk fanboy overnight, and I think Kenny McCaskill's got some problems with Alba. I don't think they're a particularly I don't think they're a particularly positive political party at present, given some of their associations and views. Sally Cinnamon, hi to you. Visitor levy that was for over-tourism will be put into something that contributes to over-tourism. Clever guys. It's a splendid state of affairs, isn't it? Let's be honest about it. It's a splendid time. What a time. Well, right, okay, remember, check out the Discontent website, like and subscribe to the Discontent YouTube channel. Support us with some cash if you can. If you can donate to Discontent, then please do. Every donation counts. It goes back into the pot. We've got a lot that we want to do. Jim DeGrills, I sadly just trying to be an external faction of the SNP rather than any alternative. Alba, sadly. Yeah, I don't think. I think it's more to do with the type of people that they've got around about them. If they've got people like Hanvey, who is a bit of a moron. Hold on, what's this saying? More info. I don't know what's been said here. Hey, check. Okay. I'm getting some notifications on YouTube. Is there a kind of Scottish equivalent to Gammonzilla? Gammonzilla, is that what you mean by Hanvey and that? Or is that what they are? I don't really know what Gammonzilla. I don't know what Gammonzilla is. Somebody will inform me before I go. Right, it's getting to that time. But yes, please support us if you can. Check out our website, and really that's us for this morning. And God willing, assuming there aren't any what is it, etched bullets. It's like Gammonosaurus Rex. I don't know what that is. This is gammons, like the gammons. Well, this was a funny one actually. Hold on, give us a wee second. I'll before I go, we'll have a wee look at this because it did make me chuckle. We'll have a wee look. 1 second now. What have I got here? I'm not going just yet, right? I'm just now that Scott 123 has alerted my attention to this. I'll be back in 1 second. That's right? What the Tories and the neoliberals sought to destroy. And that's what the neoliberal project has been. It's a project of consciousness suppression. I'm not just saying this. Check me out, it's like 11:15 on a Friday morning. I'm slavering on this fucking stuff, right? But it's true. It's structural critique, and it's important. It's important. Because once people recognise and they have the language, Fisher made that point that the project was about
If I should become a stranger,
class suppression, and without the class consciousness that was previously there to give people the apparatus, the machinery, the tools to defend themselves against the state, against the systems that were trying to exploit them. Hypercapitalism's last vestige is our human consciousness. And we are in this period where our consciousness is under real threat by advanced capitalism. I'll tell you what, that guy doesn't half rabbit on, eh? Who is he? He's always got something to say, eh? Class consciousness. Shut up, ya fucking Raj. Shut up, ya fucking Raj. Right here, this is what I wanted to. Scott says, where was it? Where was it again? Scottish flags and lying rampants up on Calder Road. I wonder if they'll vote Indy. Well, this was the video I saw the other day.
it's been everything I've ever had.
It was like,
If I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had.
It fair makes the heart swell. And I noticed when I looked down in the comments, and was it this one? Hold on a second. Let me see. Oh, it's not there now. Where is it? Yeah, fuck Muslims. Fucking, like, you know. It was a comment and it said, like, great to see the end of the union or something. And then everyone's going like, it's nothing to do with the nationalists. It's about immigrants. Get the immigrants out in that. And so basically the triumph of the nationalist project, right? The triumph of 10 years of Scotland's neoliberal nationalist project with Sturgeon and now Swinney and all these middle class morons that fucking, like, you know what I mean, insulted us with their wish trees and all the rest of it. I can't see, where was the comment? It was like, I don't care where it's gone. But basically, all of that has resulted in unionists, sort of Raj unionists, getting the saltire now, and the saltire has now become a symbol of anti-immigration. So that's going to be an interesting conflict when it comes to next year's election madness. They are putting them up about immigrants and asylum seekers to stop the boats that don't even enter Scotland, says Sally. I don't know what the rest of it is. Thank you for the donation, Jimmy. Right, listen, I really am going now. I've strayed longer than I intended. It's been fun as always. I'll be back again, God willing, at 10 o'clock next Friday. A dark blue saltire. It's getting too much for me now, like, you know. I'm going away. I'm going to leave you with an all-time reggae classic by Richie Spice. This is Earther Unread. Have a barry weekend, eh? Catch you later. Ciao.
Watch out for the vampire who will sneak up in the dark. Watch out for the big time thief who claim say that them smart. They're bringing in the crack and the gun to come mash up the youth them heart. Later and red, when you all a look them on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead. Sneaking under man feet. A revelation time, check the signs of the time. You know to leave. And you see the youth they leg out the street and you know say things now go sweet. Man a hustle, man a shuffle, hungry belly they a yard can't find food to eat. Ledger and red, where they all a look down on a tea bread. I hear an ex you dead. Tell the man them put down the gun. Back and turn your back and let the life calm down. These are the time we should have some fun. Give thanks to Jack as the man soon come. If you make a sense, tell the man them left the politics. Back and turn your back and let the